Happy May-cember. I heard that somewhere on Facebook, that it's like December without the tinsel and the presents and the food and all that, but it's just as busy. Don't y'all feel busy? It's only May 2nd, and it's busy already. I feel kind of crazy with May right now. So happy May, all the good things. I just want to say really quickly that I appreciate the work. While I don't know many of you, I appreciate the work that y'all are doing in the field that you are in. Rosa Parks, who we all know because she did not get up off the bus seat. Actually, she had gone to work with Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Miles Horton I think they were in upstate New York somewhere, to plan that whole event. And their whole idea was called Islands of Decency. Islands of Decency. And so there's a book by Miles Horton called Islands of Decency, where you can read about how they set up the whole bus situation. She didn't just happen to get on the bus and I don't want to get up, I'm too tired. It was planned. And the idea that Islands of Decency is what we have to live by. And so to you, I say, each one of you is an island of decency. And so I applaud you for that, and I would love for you to applaud yourselves for being in the work. This is hard work. You heard my bio. Thank you for that. And what I want to say quickly before I go into my talk is I'm an environmentalist. I just like being outside. I worked on my grandparents' farm in Prince George County. I cried yesterday. I had to bury 2 little bunnies that my dog got, and that was awful. I hug trees and all that good stuff. I'm a beekeeper. Y'all heard about that. If anyone asks me a beekeeping question, I will totally go off on a tangent and answer you. So just be warned. It's very interesting, and if anybody asks me, I will quickly stop and talk about that. I also helped my 24-year-old with her budgeting. Anybody in that situation knows that I was ooh, I do not want to be 20 anything ever again, because I'm yo, dude, why don't you know what your income is? And so helping her with that, that's what I do. And I also am a caretaker for my elderly father. Yes, very difficult. And also I was a caretaker for my maternal grandmother. And so I know a little bit about what empathy means, sympathy also, and I know some of you are dealing with some of those same issues. You have younger kids or grandkids, you have elderly aging parents or grandparents, and you're trying to do the work of helping people have secure housing. So I feel like that is all part and parcel of the work that we do. It's part of Islands of Decency. So I'm trying to make sense out of my life. I think I read up there, some other people are just kind of I need a drink and a bumblebee breath and a something and a something. Everybody trying to figure out what to do to help us with this situation. So when I'm trying to make sense out of life, I do what some people do. I ask ChatGPT. I did it. So there's all this research in social psychology and behavioral science around food. If one person gets a certain thing in the buffet line, the next person will do the same thing. I kind of feel like ChatGPT is the same way. When I saw that a couple of my friends were asking ChatGPT to roast them, I was like, let me try that too. Be careful though, because ChatGPT negatively affects our environment. All the minerals that's taken up and all the water waste and all that stuff. So I'm giving myself grace. I did it. I felt bad about it, but I did it. And this is with ChatGPT. I'm just giving you all a forewarning of what this is going to be like. This is so crazy because I never staying in one place, and so I'm having trouble standing in one place. So ChatGPT said to me, it said, y'all ready? And it asks if you want to be like spicy roasted or like really roasted. And I was like, I think I do a mild spicy. Because I was scared of what it was going to say. It said that my vibe was organized chaos. It said that I am the human version of opening 37 tabs, thinking I got this, and then to placate me, it said legend behavior, and I was like, So I was a little mad with ChatGPT. I was mad with the computer. I was like, yo, why are you calling me chaotic? And it says you're super creative, you're super capable, and always spinning 1,000 ideas at once. But you also know that sometimes your brain is just going to freestyle the plan halfway through. And I have already freestyled. So just be forewarned, I hope y'all can get the through line of what I'm going to say, but it might be organized chaos because that's what ChatGPT said that I do. All right? So I'm going to talk about a few things. Y'all are talking about cultivating community, right? Is that the thing? Cultivating collaboration. Cultivating collaboration. And what I read on the activity y'all just did, y'all have talked a lot about what you can do to foster collaboration. I'm going to talk about how do you foster collaboration with and of yourself. We'll do a little turn. I think Vicki thought I was going to talk about bees and flowers, because that's what we talked about, and that's like all the 5 conversations we had. But it's not going to be bees and flowers. But I can talk about bees and flowers if y'all ask me a question. I want to say first that we are in the, well, let me tell you about the goal, and then I'll do that. All right, so cultivating collaboration by tending to your internal fire. Dig deeper into the internal fire and figure out ways to care for it in spite of, in the midst of, and because of. That's what this talk is going to be about. And that is a fire that I made. Look at all the beautiful colors, and we know about the heat intensity of the different colors. I want to say first that we're in the Powhatan Confederacy right now. We're in the Marriott Richmond? No, Westin Richmond. When you get old, you start forgetting things. I'm going off a tangent right now. I'm in a 20-year, my daughter's 25, and ever since she was in utero, we've been in a study. We lived in Boston, and every year they send a questionnaire. We do all these kind of tests, and I just took my assessment today, and it had a lot of questions about memory loss and all of that. And so I guess as I'm getting older, things are happening. So forgive me. We're at the Westin Richmond, but really we're on Powhatan land. This is the Powhatan Confederacy. The Powhatan, Pamunkey, and the Chickahominy lived here. And what we're going to offer today is we're going to provide sacred medicine for the ancestors that came before us on whose land we are now sitting. So this is a song that I will not sing, but it says, Spirit, lend me your voice, teach me what I can say, show me how I can live to walk the medicine way. And it's from Indigenous Wisdom from a women's herbal gathering that I attended. So we're going to talk about firekeeping. I teach at a homeschool co-op, teach elementary, middle, and high school students math and literature. The high school students, we read this book, one of the books we read, The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulay. And it has all the intrigue that appeals to high schoolers. It has a little romance in it. It has a little like mystery in it, all of that. It also talks about violence among indigenous women. It has some addiction in there. And another prominent theme is the role of community versus individualism in the indigenous community. And we have just finished that book. Firekeeping is a real thing. So after we read the book, and I talked to one of my indigenous friends, and she came to the class, talked about how her father is a firekeeper for her tribe. So I did some research around firekeeping. It's the indigenous traditional wellness approach. It's a respectful way to open an event or ceremony, helps us to reflect on our purpose on earth, and offers remembrance, healing, togetherness, connection, and strength. So I would like for you to just take a moment inside your own head and reflect on your purpose on earth and to think about healing, togetherness, connection, and strength. Where does that show up in your life? So just take a minute to think about that. All right. From firekeeping research, we know that a fire is never left unattended, and only certain people are assigned to the role of firekeeper. They're the only ones allowed to disturb the fire and to stand watch. So what I'm going to talk about and suggest that you think about is who tends your own fire? Who tends your own fire? All right. Okay, so I'm going to give a couple of examples about myself, and then I'm going to share some other insights with you and then ask you to talk to people at your table. All right? So I was the executive director of the Math Science Innovation Center for 12 years. First black woman, first educator. Everybody else was a white man or a scientist. Okay. It was amazing. And let me say this part. I went there as a high schooler. I went to Open High School in the 80s, and then I came back in 2012, and now I'm running the Math Science Center. It was fantastic until it wasn't. Okay. And so I was at the point where my little fire was just getting extinguished. I am so serious. I was like crying all the time. I was mad all the time. I was like, I'm gonna go tell them, boo, 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 boo. And people in my office were like, you need to chill. Like, don't do that thing, right? But I was just feeling so off kilter. And someone was like, yo, you need to find your passion. Like, why are you even here on this earth? Like, you cannot, like, this reaction is not okay, right? Like, what happened to your fire? Like, you have to redirect, like, shape that thing. You are the person that controls your fire. You can't let somebody else tend your fire, stoke your fire, put out your fire, right? So I thought long and hard about that, and I tried to think about, well, what can I do to bring me back to myself? It took a while. I actually felt like I was hanging on the ledge. Let me say this part. This is a tangent time. I felt like I was hanging on a ledge, and I was like, some people were like peeling my fingers off the ledge. I was just gonna fall, right? And someone was like, no, you control the descent. You're not gonna let them, whatever I'm saying to you is public. You can run and tell it. Because I don't like when people be like, don't tell what I said, like I said it, and I'm gonna write a book about it. Watch. I felt like they were peeling my little fingers off the ledge, and I was just gonna like free fall, like break all my bones. And my friend was like, yo, you cannot let them do that. Like, you have to control this, like, let go. Yeah. Let go. And you might break a bone, but you're gonna be okay, right? And so that shifted my whole perspective. I had to take back control of like my passion, like what I loved, and not let somebody else kind of mess me up. And so I started to think about, like, what do I like to do? I like to write, I like to swim, I like to dance. I was doing all the things. I was dancing in the middle of the little ceremony, bomba. Did y'all see me dance? Did somebody see me? Because I would jump up on the stage at down at Witchmajig and the amphitheater and do a thing, because I was just like trying to get all that stuff off of me. So I'm just saying all this to say, like, you have to tend to your own fire. And it was like low-key rough. And so I started to do those things, and even when adversity was coming at me, which may be coming at you also, like in the jobs that you do, because I know y'all's jobs are hard. And, like, you're seeing stuff that's really like affecting you on the inside. It may be your home life, like, maybe your car didn't start today, I don't know. But there's things that happen in life that you have to kind of like take back control of. And so that's part of what I did. So I started, let me go back here. I started so after I like kind of got myself together again, I was like, what do other women in particular, black women in particular, what do we do to love on ourselves? Y'all had a session about self-care, I think. Self-care is not selfish. Like, what do we do? This is for everybody, but in my island of decency. I was focused on one particular group of people. So I started interviewing all the people, and I wasn't interviewing people that's like always on the stage doing stuff. I was interviewing like regular people like me. So I went to Peter Paul Development Center, and I talked to one of the ladies there, and I was like, yo, what are you, oh, my daughter's calling me, and she knew I was doing the keynote. Click up for you. So do your bills, I don't know. So I was talking to my friend, and she was like, oh, the families come for spaghetti dinner. We love it. The kids, we give them books. It's so, like it was an hour of me typing furiously all the stuff she was saying. I closed my computer, and at the very end, she was like, you know what really brings me joy? Baking. And her whole countenance changed. It was like I saw it right in front of me. And I was like, well, so do you bake? She was like, no, I'm too busy with the spaghetti dinners and the people and the books and the boo-doo-boo-doo. And I was like, well, why don't you bake? I just don't have time. It's like, you have to find time to do the thing that you love. So I started interviewing lots of people. Then I ended up with a writing group. So now the pandemic is coming. And I had already done some writing groups, but the pandemic provided an opportunity for me to really be consistent with it. I had a writing group with women of all ages and all races. We would meet on Saturdays, and I would give them a prompt, and we would write and talk. And we cried like every Sunday. And I always started with this group of words. We all live in community. Sometimes community overrides the community that we have with ourselves. Things happen to us, with us, and because of us, but rarely do we stop and think about just us. What do we want? What do we need? How do we commune with and for ourselves? How do we tend our own fire? That was the question every single class. And the class has been going on, it's still going on. So that's 4 years, 4 years of work. So I'm going to give you a prompt to talk about with people at your table, and then we'll do a share. Maybe we'll do a share. So there were different prompts each week. One prompt was about your body. What do you need to say to a part of your body? And what would your body say back to you? Let's add that part. What would your body say back to you? Right? Because we're rushing through life doing everything for everybody else, but what is happening in our own bodies that we need to attend to? So pick a part of your body. It could be your heart. It could be your back, your finger, your womb, your foot, I don't know, your ear. Pick a part of your body that you really want to like be in community with or commune with. And what would you say to that part of your body? And what would your body say back to you? Are you treating it well? Is it? As I sit here with my knee is like throbbing, right? Like, so I'm gonna give you a minute at your tables. Pick a part of your body. What would you say to it? And what would it say back to you? So far, so good. All right. You ready? I know everybody didn't get to share. These are great journal prompts, so feel free to write them down and talk later with your friends and family. All right, who would like to share? This is a judgment-free zone. Who wants to share? Yes, ma'am. Say it loud. I'll repeat it. Yeah, say it out loud and I'll repeat it.
Okay, I have a daily affirmation.
Daily affirmation.
My body, or even throughout the day. My body will function in the My body will function and it's affecting what God tells it, as God has created it to function.
My body will function in the way that God tells it to function. Thank you. Thank you. Who else wants? Your whole body is covered every day. Your body is covered. Who? Yes. Say it loud and I'll repeat it. I'll say it again. Hold on 1 second. Class. Over there in the corner. What y'all doing? Okay.
So I was telling the group this past Tuesday evening, I went to see a metal band with 3 of my friends, and I had never been to a metal show, but I really loved that band, and I was saying, once a month I'm going to go to some type of live music event and just let it go.
She went to a whole metal band concert, and had never been to one before. And you said that once a month.
I love all types of music.
Yeah.
Once a month I'm going to go to one live music event and just
Let it all go. She's going to go to a music event once a month and let it all hang out. So there's something happening at the Lewis Ginter tonight. There's a Frida Kahlo something. You can jam with some. Yes, I will see you there. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so every day I tell my body, you are healthy, you are wealthy, and you are wise.
You are healthy, wealthy, and wise. Next time you see me, I'm going to be like, yes. Because I've been over here struggling, popping the leaves and all that stuff. All right. See, the wisdom. I gave this prompt to the women in the group, and someone said, my feet are too big and wide. Will you speak to me? This is what she wrote to her feet. Oh, honey, we support you. Through us, you connect to the earth and receive warm, unconditional, delicious energy. We are your portals. On us, you stand firmly, balanced, alive. Through us, you dance. Celebrate us, boogie with us, and please, 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 always buy comfortable shoes. Right. See, I see, yes, all the ladies are having comfortable shoes on. Okay. I also gave a prompt about what story do you tell yourself. So there's a TED talk about the stories we tell. And it talks about how we jump to conclusions about people and things without having any information. And I was about to say something political, but I'm gonna stop. So let me just get myself together. So I asked about what stories do you tell yourself about yourself, right? If there was a megaphone in your brain and we all heard what you were saying to yourself, would you want us to hear what you say to yourself, right? Some people yep. Some people mm-mm. So I asked, what story do you tell yourself? So Susan Boniva titled her piece, Letting Go. In this liminal space of no longer and not yet, I swim in the belly of uncertainty and the bosom large enough to hold the gratitude and the fear. I remind myself about the danger of narratives I create like leaky lifeboats to carry me to the shores of certainty. Anything to take me away from the discomfort of living into not knowing. Even a bad story is a story to which I can cling. Let go, let go, let go. I can float in these waters. In the floating is remembering. Let go, let go, let go. I can be present in just this one precious moment. In this moment, I have all that I need, including the gratitude for the veil lifting just a bit. In some ways, I am never alone, but in others, we are all alone. Letting go, letting go, letting go. Present to this moment, remembering who I am, and trusting into the space of suspension. Right? I thought that was beautiful. So talk about, at your table, what is the story you tell yourself about yourself? What is the story you tell to yourself about yourself? I'll give you a minute to just chat. It's a tricky one. Hmm? All right. I know it's not nearly long enough. Okay, we'll come back together. Come back together. What story do you tell to yourself about yourself? Anybody have an idea about that? What do you say to yourself about yourself? Anybody have an idea? It's a hard one. Yes, ma'am.
So I think the story that you tell yourself kind of depends on the day and what's going on. But personally, through all that, like, you're a warrior. Regardless of how good or how bad your day is, what went on, what didn't go on, you still made it.
Ooh, so she said it depends on what day it is, like what's going on. But one thing you can say to yourself is that you're a warrior and you made it, right? So I urge you to, when things are rough, because I know y'all see some rough stuff. When things are rough, you can say, like, I got this. Like, I'm a warrior. Like, what do you say to yourself about yourself? My friend Markeisha here, when she came in today, she was like, how are you? And the first thing I said was, I'm tired. I am really trying to stop saying I'm tired, even though I am tired, because I've been burying bunnies and stuff. I want to stop saying that, because if I say I'm tired, then what? I'm tired. But if I say, you know what, I need to rest a bit, or I need to adjust my sleep pattern, or I like something else besides I'm tired, right? Because we all say, like, we tired, we sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? And so there are words that we say to ourselves about ourselves that just diminish our fire. What about if we spoke life to ourselves? Not like everything has to be rosy and everything is great all the time. Like, everything's not going to be great all the time. But in my role as a caretaker, so I'm caretaking my daughter, like, not really. She's a whole adult. But watching out, but I do track her. I'm like, it's 11 o'clock. Like, I'm looking at the GPS. Like, where are you, right? I'm all worried. Where you at? Why you in Ashland at 2 in the morning? Like, what you doing? I'm at a farm. Are you really at a, no. I totally trust her. But I'm just saying that, like, there's a lot of stuff to be worried about, especially in my caretaking. I'm like, yo, this is hard. It is hard, but I'm trying to stop saying it's so hard and saying I'm honored to be able to support my father in this way. It's taking some extra skills to be able to support him properly, right? There are 5 million things I can say rather than it's hard. And so I want to try to switch my language, because when I switch my language, just like the pulling pushing your, like pulling your fingers off the ledge, it's the same thing, right? That just being a caretaker sometimes feels like the life is like pulling your fingers off the ledge. You're just gonna like fall on the ground and like crumple up. But if I take control of it, if I own my own fire, if I change how I talk about the work, myself, my environment, things will shift. So this prompt is, what is on the altar of your life? The person who wrote this was a very elderly lady, and she said, what on the altar of my life is genuine to me? The sacred hidden all too often in the distracted busyness, but presence is mine to know in every moment. It is not the act of putting on my shoes sacred, of standing up, the taste of an apple. Who makes a distinction between sacred and not sacred, if not me? Presence is mine to know in every moment. Isn't that beautiful? Right? She was like, when I wash dishes, I am present. Like the Buddhist monks, like, be present. Like, find the joy in everything. Is not the act of putting on my shoes sacred? Right? Wow. It's like, yeah. And when I passed all those beautiful green apples, I thought about what she said, the taste of an apple. is that not sacred? Is that not on the altar of your life, right? And so I'm giving you these examples to press home the point about we need to find things in our life that keep the fire going, because there's so much out here that wants us to be in despair, distraught, mad, confused, scared, all the things. Like you turn on the news, like every day, right? And so, but if we can control the community that we have with ourselves, we talk to ourselves better, we treat ourselves better, that's going to ripple out into all with whom we come in contact. I asked somebody what was true for them. So what is true for me? You can't eat flowers. Colorful, carefully arranged, fresh from the dirt vegetables, adorned booths and farmers market morning. I head straight for the flower ladies. Later, sweet plump cherry tomatoes and squiggly green beans enter my big bag, but first, the bouquets of autumn entice. The delicious oranges, purples, yellows, reds of zinnias, celosia, clover, sunflowers, dahlias, straw flowers shout out their songs and raise my vibration. Arranging these brilliant beauties is an act of love and admiration. 4 bouquets grace my rooms, and I breathe them in, savoring colors, shapes, attitudes. Last week, I purchased a magnifying glass to appreciate their intricate patterns. Oh, do you have time to linger for just a little while out of your busy and very important day? That was from Mary Oliver. Sorrow and injustice continue all around. This systemic racism paradigm traps us insidiously, conflating blackness with less, difference with danger. This is where I am drawn to do what? It involves love. Love is divine only and difficult always. If you think it is easy, you're a fool. If you think it is natural, you are blind. It is a learned application without reason or motive except that it is God. That's Toni Morrison. It involves continuing to find joy in flowers. So this, by the way, Louis Ginter is having a flower plant sale today and tomorrow. I'll see you there tomorrow. Tonight we're going to see Frida and dance, and tomorrow we're going to Louis Ginter. Because we have to find things that we love, and we have to do those, like going to the heavy metal show, right? Speaking life to our bodies. So I would ask you kind of what is true for you. You can think about that for yourself and go there. Try to remember your why. And the last thing I'll say is I was talking to a group of students at VSU last week. It was like a lot of people in that room. It was like 54 students converged in one room, not a little room, a room, and we were there for like 2 hours. And I talked about bees and beekeeping, and they wanted to know my life path, like how did I get to where I am and what lessons and all that kind of stuff. It was awesome. At the end, I'm so tired of talking. It's 2 hours or so. I'm so tired. And this one woman says, what is your greatest accomplishment? And I swear, 10 seconds is a long time to stand there without an answer. And you heard the bio. I've already told you that I love things outside. And I was stumped. I was like, what is my greatest accomplishment? And then I thought of, I wrote Carter here. I was trying to get a picture of Carter, but my computer wasn't trying to let me be great. Carter, so I teach at a homeschool co-op, which I mentioned earlier. And Carter is a little 7-year-old girl in my class. So these kids have my cell phone number, and they text me all the time. Good night, Miss Hollee. Good morning, Miss Hollee. What you doing, Miss Hollee? How the dogs, Miss Hollee? Like a lot. And I'm here for it. So she says, well, before the thing I'm going to read, she says, hi, Miss Hollee. It's Carter. I just want to say good night. Hey, Carter, good night. I love it. So good morning, Miss Hollee. How's your day going? So we talk about like dogs and stuff. So then she says, Miss Hollee, I have a third book I thought we can have. So then she sends me the picture of the book. And I said, bring it tomorrow. Okay. And she says, I found a book by Kelly Yang. So we're reading this book called Front Desk by Kelly Yang, which talks about immigration. And so this is a homeschool co-op, so we can talk about all the things that you can't really talk about in school. So we were talking about immigration. So she says she found another book about Kelly Yang. So we're talking about the cover. And she says, I just wanted to show you that. And I said, thank you, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you. And she wrote, no problem. She spelled no wrong, but that's okay. Talk about that later. And so when the student asked me about my greatest accomplishment, after I sat there for 10 seconds or so, like thinking I was going through a list of all the things I've done. I was like, but you know what? The fact that a little 7-year-old girl is texting me about a book, that's it, right there. And she's not the only one, right? Who texts their teacher about a book, right? You have to have a strong fire. You have to be in a safe place. You have to know the person's going to respond to you, all of that. And so I was like, this is my greatest accomplishment because that shows that we are in community. Me and this little 7-year-old girl and a whole bunch of other ones, they all talk to me. Sometimes I'm like, are y'all going to be, did y'all read? To get them off the phone, I'm like, did y'all do y'all reading? And they'd be like, okay, goodbye, Miss Hollee. Are you ready for class? Okay, goodbye. See you tomorrow. But the fact that we are in community because we have a relationship around books where she feels like she can talk to me about something she found, like in the library. And I think that's beautiful. And that is one of my greatest accomplishments, of being able to be authentic enough, safe enough, free enough, where I'm good in my body. I think if I was still having doubts and my fire was getting all like spittery and, like diminishing and stuff, I would not be able to accept a relationship with student in that way, right? Because I would still be mad and, distraught and disentangled, like all the things. But because I'm in a place of love and I'm fully, I know myself and I'm open, I'm able to be in community with her. And so I would share that with y'all, that even though you might see some things that make you distraught and all that, like find the goodness in yourself to be able to then be in community in the ways that we have talked about. So I'm going to leave you with 2 more things. One is, that's the beekeeping show, I'm sure. Y'all want to say it again? Okay. What's in you that you will keep sacred? What's in you that will keep your fire going? What will keep your fire going? How will you keep your own fire? What can you do that's just for you? It's not for the dog. It's not for the child. It's not for the parent. It's not for your colleague. It's not for your partner, if you have a partner. Just for you. What is just for you? What are you going to keep sacred? What do you want? What do you need? How do you commune with and for yourself? And how will you tend your own fire? Speaking of fire, we have to use fire, actually smoke, when beekeeping, because it covers up the alarm pheromones of the guard bees. So have a little smoker in my hand, do a little smoky poo to get them to kind of chill out. Sometimes the bees look like this. I said, woo, I heard that, woo. That's a lot of everything. That's like life. All the things are happening. Everything is moving all fast. The bees, there's too many bees in the box. It's like, when you see that, you're like, oh, Lordy, have mercy. Like, what am I going to do? The bees are working hard. The bees are an excellent source of community, which I can talk about at length. So sometimes it looks like this, but sometimes it looks like this. Bees do sleep, they rest. People say, you're so busy. I'm busy, but I do rest. Maybe not enough, but I do rest. And so sometimes bees just go to a beautiful flower and they take a little rest. So I encourage you to, this is work, this is rest, right? Which helps you do this, right? And so I encourage you to think about how you're going to keep your fire going. How are you going to be in communion with yourself? How are you going to keep your fire going? Where are the places where you can rest? Thank you. I think anybody have a question, a comment? Yes, ma'am.
Can we go back to the firekeeping slide?
Yep. Which one?
The first.
Okay. This one right here? Yeah. Yep. You're welcome. Questions, comments? Did you have a question? I can tell you about bees. So that is a bumblebee on your, okay. So there are 20,000 different types of honeybees in the United States. On the picture on that is a bumblebee. It has like the big fat bottom. I work with honeybees. Let's see. Honeybees, so inside of your packet is a seed, is a picture of a bee, and it's a seed bomb. A seed piece of paper. We're not gonna say bomb because we changed our language. Whew. It's planted, and it will grow some beautiful flowers that will help the pollinators. There are lots of different pollinators. Let me say, I'm gonna tell you a couple of interesting things, and then I'm gonna let y'all go because I know you gotta go. Honeybees were brought over with the colonists. There were indigenous bees here with the indigenous people, so we know that we're on Powhatan land. There were bees already here. When the colonists brought the bees over, their bees couldn't really rock with the vegetation that was here, so they had to bring over some food for their own bees. Bees have been here for that long, 400 and something years. They are not native, although they have been here so long that who is to say is not native? Which is the same conversation we're having with people. Okay, just put that out there. So who belongs and who doesn't belong, all that kind of stuff. Honeybees are the apex pollinators. They're also like butterflies, dragonflies, ants, like wasps, like all the things. Are pollinators, but honeybees pollinate the vast majority of our food. So about 85% of our food is pollinated by honeybees. The strawberries, the apples, the tomatoes, all the things y'all like to eat. If there were no honeybees, you would have a very bland little plate. And you probably wouldn't be able to eat meat too, because cows eat clover. Clover is pollinated by bees. No bees, no clover, no cows, no whatever y'all eat, hamburgers, right? And so, bees are very important. Bees are dying out because pesticide is one thing, the climate is kind of crazy. So I am doing my best to try to increase the bee population. And if you would like more information about honeybees, I do apiary visits. You put on the suits, you get the little tool, and you can come out. And I have 11 hives. And you could come out with me and do an apiary visit. So go to my website, which is way back here somewhere, holleefreeman.com. Holleefreeman.com.